And Jimmy, part of the thing that we're talking about is the fact that God, all through Scripture, made promises that the Jewish people would be brought out of the countries around the world, be brought back into the land of Jerusalem in that area, and then when they got there, He would make them a nation. Okay? But that's not all, He said.
Well, that is not all, and we'll get to that in a moment, but I've got to just remind everybody what Prime Minister Netanyahu said recently. When he was in Moscow, Russia, he made the statement, Ezekiel 37 has been fulfilled. Wow, what an interesting statement. When you talk about Ezekiel 37, he was referring to the valley of dry bones. In verse 7, it talks about the bones coming together. In verse 8, talks about the flesh covering the bones. In verses 9 and 10, talks about the breath of life being breathed into those bones, and they stand up like a mighty army. Well, the bones coming together would be the regathering of the Jewish people. And out of 108 nations of the world, that has been happening. And then the flesh on those bones that had connected, that would be the restoration of a Jewish state. And you know, every year in May, Israel celebrates another anniversary of the establishment of the state of Israel. And then, of course, the breath of life being breathed into those bones, that would be the regeneration of the Jewish people, which will happen when Jesus Christ comes back. Now, that's apocalyptic literature. It's using a symbol to communicate an absolute truth. Verse 11 of chapter 37 says, those bones are the whole house of Israel, and they are in the land today. But I think there's an even more exciting prophecy that's about to be fulfilled, and that is the preparations to build the next temple. The Bible tells us in Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 12, Jesus Christ will build His temple in the city of Jerusalem, verse 13, and rule and reign from that temple. In chapter 1 of Zechariah, verse 16, he says, I will return to Jerusalem and build that temple. But that's the millennial temple. That's during the 1,000-year period of time after the return of Christ. There's going to be another temple prior to that. The Bible talks about in Daniel chapter 9 and verse 24 through 27 how all of this is going to unfold. In verse 27 it says there will be a temple in the city of Jerusalem. Jesus Christ confirmed that over in Matthew chapter 24 verse 15 when He said, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel, flee for the wilderness. The Apostle Paul confirmed it, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4. The Antichrist will walk in at the midway point of the tribulation into the temple and sit down and claim to be God. And of course, in the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 1, John is told to take his reed and measure the location for the temple. Preparations for the temple have been made. That temple is about to be built in the city of Jerusalem. I think that's an exciting prophecy that's about to be fulfilled.